I'm 26 years old now, and I was former Mr. World Italy when I started my career. I was a model. I was a model full time. And why am I a yogi now? A yogi means I'm a spiritual seeker. I'm seeking truth. I don't focus my attention on my outer self anymore, but I focus my attention on my inner self, which means I suffered a lot. I tried so many different things. I saw the beauty of society. I saw the riches of society. I saw the bad things of society. I saw loneliness. I saw being with people, many different things, even if I'm kind of young. But at the same time, I noticed, okay, this is not my end point. Where all these things are going to bring me, this is not the end point. And why did I get from there to here? It's a different kind of path. Normally, once you get to that superficial path of modeling, of working on your image, working with your image, working with the way you look, the way you dress, the way you have your face and hair, how do you get to self improvement? Well, I started when, as I told you, I was 18 years old. And basically, after doing 12 years of swimming, I was a professional swimmer, spending so much time alone. And also, I was the only man, the only boy in my classroom at my university and also in my liceo, which is basically high school here in Italy. I very much was alone. And I also didn't spend a single uh, moment doing normal things that people like teenager do in their childhood because I was swimming, I was training. And so what happened is that when I quit swimming, there was a period where I felt very depressed. There was so many different things happening in that period. I sold my motorbike, I finished school, I finished swimming. I also had a girlfriend which I didn't have anymore. So many different things happened. Also with my family, different things happened. And so there was a point where for some time I had kind of a boomerang of experiences, which meant that all the things that I didn't experience before, I had to experience in fast forward. And that brought me so much suffering and realization that I went straight to self improvement and wanting to get to the best version of myself externally. I wanted to have a perfect body. I want to have a perfect career. I want to everyone to appreciate me and love me and look up to me. And so I started buying books. I started learning about financial freedom. I started eating well, so many different things. And then also I started my modeling career. And I wanted to, exploit the body that I developed and use my image as a job. And also wanting to become an actor and wanting to go to LA. I went to LA and wanted to, have all those things happening. But then, after a very bad period, and after COVID, and after many different things, no, actually before COVID, just during COVID, actually, I started seeing that as a model, working with your image, nobody actually cares about you. They just care about the way you look, and tomorrow it will be another person. And I noticed that I was getting some kind of wisdom that I couldn't, like, I wanted to talk about it with people, but people were not interested in whenever I had to talk. And so I just went into monk mode. I just stayed in my bedroom for so much time, and it was my temple. It was my it was my temple. It was everything for me. And I worked out here. I did everything here. My videos, my job. I started documenting my process online because guys were asking me about my outer things. But then I noticed the ephemeral the superficial side of that. And once some books of self improvement made me realize, okay, I've already read about these topics so many times that this doesn't make me happy. It's not the end here. So I didn't know where to, like, out of me, everything was perfect. Like, people saw at me and I was influential. I was with a good body. I was young. I was traveling the world. I also won some competitions. I went to Mr. Italy and won Mr. Italy. I went to Mr. Cinema and won Mr. Cinema, and then to Mr. Modern International in Miami, and then went to Mr. World, representing Italy with hundreds of guys from all over the world representing each country. And it was all cool. I went back home and people were just, happy for me. They were asking about me. I went to media, so to television, to radio, did so many interviews. But did that, I felt it was not enough. And so there were two options: kept going for more, or realized that was not the path, that was not the answer. And some books, fortunately, woke me up, like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which made me go outside of my mind for some time. And also the Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, they woke my spiritual side that was also very dormant because of I spent so much time training and journaling and did many things for myself. So I had a very strong spiritual side that I never woke up. And so it woken up very fast. And so I started focusing my attention inward instead of outwards. And that all changed. Then I started my meditations. I started doing, which I always done meditation, but not because I wanted to find truth and discover about myself, but just because some books told me that entrepreneurs meditate. So I was just doing for no reason, just because of copying, and it was so stupid. And also because my trainers told me to do yoga. But then I started, finding the truth, true spirituality. And so I started reading about religions, spirituality, many different books, many podcasts. I started following some spiritual, important people. And then I developed my own path. And now I'm here. So now I noticed, okay, one thing doesn't it's not that you can just be spiritual and not act in the world. You actually have things to do in the world. You have your persona, you have your character, you have your goals, but you need to learn to be not in your drama, not in your mental situation. If you don't want to suffer and if you don't want to have a superficial life, if you want to have an impact, if you want to act good, you need to first be rooted in reality, rooted in your inner self, rooted in this present moment, rooted in yoga. And then from there you act. There is karma yoga. Being, then doing, then having, instead of having, then doing, then being. And so this whole process slowly and slowly awakened until I did my initiation. I did my first meditations, my Kriya yogas, and then all the things that you already know. My initiation went so well, and I had this crack of the ego that I talked about on this channel already. And from there, it all poured down. I destroyed my ego completely. One day I just woke up full of tears after a meditation, and I noticed Marco was pretty much dead. And so all my goals, all my previous superficial things, they were all just gone. And I noticed they were all because of traumas that I had, all because of lack of things, lack of meanings that I had. And so I noticed, oh my God, these goals, this me, is not who I really am and is not who I want to be. So who I am, I don't know. Let's just find out. And so here I am after years, and I'm still seeking, but it's getting so much better. I'm feeling in such different things. And Sometimes I also do live in society, so I also do talk about on my other YouTube channels, on other things, on my outer self, but it's always starting from a different perspective. That's the important thing. So that's it, guys. Thanks for have listened to my story.